I let him come right down to the wire.
Good morning, Facebook. I know, we're keeping it nice. Throw one more music.
Oh, there's music.
I know. That's what people hear on the radio.
Okay.
Good morning and welcome to the 425 Show, your place to be for all things real estate and lifestyle related. Each week we highlight something and someone that makes us a great place to live, because buying and selling houses is about more than bedrooms and baths. Market update. It's the spring market. Things are moving fast, buyers and sellers. So what that means is when you are hiring an agent, know that you are also hiring their Rolodex. Now, I know some of you have no idea what that term means. But your Rolodex it's the team of people that your agent works with. When my clients work with me, they get access to my lender, my contractor, my painter, whomever they might need help from in order to make their move. Not only are my contractors good, they're reliable, what they charge is always fair, but in this market when things are super busy, if you call my contractor and said Nicole referred you, they always make time for you, which is a big deal right now. So just something to think about. You know, you're not just hiring that one person, but the whole team of who they work with. If you're thinking about buying or selling, I invite you to reach out. You can always find me via email, nicole@nicolemangina.com. I wanted to give one quick shout out today to the Northwest Canine Coalition. Rescue dogs are near and dear to my heart. We have 2 at our house. We love our rescue puppies, even though one of them has been labeled socially awkward by the trainer. I know, it's a thing.
Really?
Yep.
I literally am kind of like floored with that.
She is.
Okay.
So we're working on it.
Sure.
She has social issues.
Because we're loving people.
I know,
Right, of
but
course.
we love her.
Right, of
We're
course.
keeping her. But anyway, they are having a fundraiser March 14th, Bark at the Moon. It is a fantastic organization. Whether you're ready to adopt a pet yourself or just want to support a pet finding a good home, I invite you to check out their information, either attend the event or consider donating. We'll have all of the information on the website after the show, nicolemangina.com/podcast. And I'm excited for our guest today. Good morning, Kari. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. How are you?
I'm great.
I'm excited.
Me too. It's a full circle moment.
Total full circle
In
moment.
so many ways. Kari Gran Skincare is joining us today. We're going to talk about so many great things, but it's full circle. I used to sell real estate.
I did used to sell real estate.
I know.
For almost 20 years.
Yes.
And I'm staring back at the city right now that I sold a lot of real estate in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm in the middle of a real estate career running. What happens?
Yeah.
What does life after real estate look like? It looks amazing.
Well, thanks.
Yes. So tell us the story about how you started your skincare line, because it's a very special skincare line.
Thank
with
you.
a great story behind it and just amazing products.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, the story goes is I left a career that I had in real estate for almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm. And it was good to you.
It was really good to me. It was good to me,
Yeah.
and I really loved it.
Yeah.
And I said I would do it until I couldn't do it anymore, or something just. And I got to the point where I felt like I needed a change, and that was it, because I had great clients, I had a great business, but it was time.
Yeah.
You know, something just like my internal clock said, it's time to go.
Yeah.
So I kind of walked up to a cliff and stepped off at the end of 2009 because I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And in that time period that I was off in 2010, I like to joke that I took every day off in 1 year that I never took off in 20 years.
Yes.
You know, in just like one long streak, because in real estate it was really hard.
It is hard
to take time off. It's kind of a 24/7 job.
Yes.
You know, I wasn't a brain surgeon, but, you know, I was really committed to my clients, and I'm sure you know how that is.
Yeah.
So in that time period, I developed the skincare line. That is now our skincare line. But let's rewind just a little bit. For about the previous 10 or 15 years, every Christmas I had made lip products for everybody in the office at Windermere Real Estate and handed it out. And I had branded it and labeled it, and it was like this fun side hobby that I had. And I really didn't know what I was doing initially, but kind of learned over time. So that's where it started, this home kitchen business.
And it's called the Lip Whip, right?
The Lip Whip. At the time, it was not the Lip Whip. So that came into, it was in in a plastic tube, your
Okay.
standard lip balm
Yeah.
tubes, and I'll tell you why later why I don't
Why
use
it's not
plastic
enough.
anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's
Got it.
kind of a critical piece to the
Okay.
story. So what I ended up doing was during that time off, I had already had kind of this lip thing, but then I wanted to branch into clean skincare.
Mhm.
And by clean, I mean things that don't have known toxins. Like for somebody like me, I happen to have autoimmune thyroid disease. So I
Okay.
had both Graves' disease and Hashimoto's, and I was diagnosed back when I was 29.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That's
a
big
long time
deal.
ago. And having a chronic disease in a really challenging career can be pretty complicated.
Yeah, especially to be in it 18 years. That's a lot.
Yeah, and so for me, it was all about learning how to manage this disease.
Mhm.
And one of the ways that I found was with what I put in my body in terms of food. And
Right.
it wasn't until the mid-2000s that I discovered that a lot of personal care products
Mhm.
have ingredients in them that aren't so great for your endocrine system. And so
Right.
with thyroid, endocrine is just a fancy word for hormone.
Right.
And you say hormone to another woman and it's like, oh, you've got my
I
attention.
got it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so while I never have said, oh, beauty caused my disease, that's not it at all. It's moreover, once I understood how important ingredients were,
Sure.
it then translated to what I was putting in and on my body. Because if you don't think that what you're putting on your body is actually going into your bloodstream, just think about people who stop smoking and apply a nicotine patch to the surface of their skin.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So there are a lot of topical
Mhm.
medications
Right.
that are what is called transdermal. They go in through your bloodstream. So I started with the basics of eliminating a few ingredients, anything that ended in the word paraben,
Mm-hmm. Right.
synthetic fragrance, the word perfume, which was really something I loved so
Yeah.
much. But I was layering on a body wash, a body lotion, a body powder, all of this fragrance.
Oh, sure.
And so synthetic fragrance can be problematic for your endocrine system because it contains ingredients called phthalates, which
Mhm.
is kind of an odd word. But so for me, it was like wiping all that out and what could I buy?
Right.
And at the time in 2010, the choices were really limited. It's nothing like it is now.
Isn't that amazing?
It's
10 years ago.
10
a
years
lot
has
has
made,
changed.
the industry has been transformed. There
Mhm.
are a lot of brands like us that are coming to it with a whole different perspective, like,
Right.
so I'm very long-winded and sorry about that. This is a
No,
long
this is a
story.
great story.
But what I did was create something for myself at the end of the day
Mhm.
through a lot of self-study with the skincare, already had the lip. And then at the end of that year, I gave it to my now business partner, Lisa Strain, who is also a real estate refugee.
Oh,
So-
refugee. That's awesome.
We both, had really good long careers in the
Mhm.
business and kind of wanted our nights and weekends back.
Sure.
Although with starting a company, you don't necessarily get that, but it's a different kind of nights and weekends than it was before. And we had maintained our connection. Actually, we had gone to a 6 a.m. yoga together
Oh, funny.
while we went to real estate, because as a real estate agent, the hours of 6 to 7 a.m. are pretty much yours.
Right.
So,
And that's when I work out is 5:30 every morning.
so if
Yeah.
you don't get it in the morning,
It
you're
doesn't
just not going to
happen.
get it in.
Yeah.
And so it was after a yoga class one day, and I had given her the gift of the line for Christmas that
Mhm.
she said, "Let's talk."
Wow.
And I thought, well, that's
And was
weird.
she still in real estate at
She
that point?
was.
Oh, interesting.
And we never went out for coffee after yoga.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like she was on to work.
Sure.
And she just said, I really like what you've created. I think there's a market for it. I think a lot of women would like it. You love the category and
Mhm.
you don't have a job. So
There you go.
let's try it. And that is how it started. And then luckily we knew a lot of really smart women in the real estate industry.
Yes.
So we had this built-in focus group at
I
our
love it.
fingertips. And
Yeah.
she just said, let's see what people think and if it resonates.
Mhm.
So spent a year in research and development.
Mhm.
Really didn't modify any of the formulas that I had created. But in that time, I moved our lip product out of the plastic tube. And the reason is because plastic can leach
Right. Mm-hmm.
chemicals. And so everything is a chemical. Water's a chemical. But
Right.
essential oils, like we have organic peppermint
Mhm.
essential oil in our lip, their molecular structure is so small that they are prone to leach plastics from plastic housing.
Interesting.
And so I was like, I got to go back to the drawing board. And I really didn't want a lip product that was like hard in the jar.
Right, yeah.
And so it was like a 3 a.m. thought process that came to me on kind of how I could do this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was quite comical how I started initially putting it in the jars.
I can only imagine.
Given I don't have a manufacturing background, it was very comical how this all started.
That's funny.
But you have to start somewhere.
You do.
Right? And so,
That's funny.
I mean, literally, I was eyedroppering into the bottles of our facial oil, our essential serum,
Oh my
and with
goodness.
a scale, and then Lisa saw me and said, "Oh no,
There has to
no,
be a
this
better
is
way."
not a sustainable practice." Like you, but I am a real where we complement each other really well is I am a real like laser focused in on something,
Mhm.
and she can see the whole forest. I only see
Perfect.
that one tree.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, this was the way I had to do it forever and ever. And she just said, no. There's got to be a better way. So what we did was took a line that I created, shared with a friend,
Sure.
because she said her husband, who he's a wonderful man, but he's not a big oh hey, I've noticed that you got a new blush color on or something.
Who is?
Yeah. But he just said after she started using the line, you just look fresh.
You have
Rested.
radiant skin.
Oh, thank you.
It's
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank you. That's really nice. But the key is
Mhm.
hydration.
Yeah.
So
Lots of water.
we took it down. Well, hydration, drinking
Mhm.
it, yes, but in water, in skincare, isn't doing a whole lot for your skin.
Right.
And what I mean by that is a typical lotion or a cream is 75 or more percent water. It's
Interesting.
the first ingredient.
Mhm.
So learned this in formulating because I was gotten to the point where, especially with my thyroid issues,
Mhm.
I have super dry skin, dry
Mhm.
hair, dry eye, dry. And I was putting on a cream and I felt great for about 5 minutes.
Mhm.
And then I felt dry again.
Oh, interesting.
And so that water had just simply evaporated
Got it.
out. And so if you dip your hand in that jar, keep putting it on, you never change the ratio of water to oil
Got it.
because
Okay.
it's pre-formulated.
Okay.
So when I discovered facial oils through
Mhm.
a lot of the yoga I was doing and Ayurvedic principles, this is not my big idea. I
Right.
would like to be clear that I did not invent facial oils. People in other countries have been doing it forever.
Okay.
And so, but in America, I grew up in a time period where oil-free was the way to go because
Well, yeah. 'cause you
oil
try
would
not to
break your skin out.
Yeah.
Well, the oil that breaks your skin out is petroleum, mineral
Mhm.
oil.
Which
It's-
is in so many beauty products.
Mhm. It's a really cheap ingredient. It acts as a
Yes.
filler. It has a nice feel to
Mhm.
it. And so, I grew up tanning with baby oil. That was
Yeah.
the way I laid out in the sun.
Yep. I was Hawaiian Tropic. I
Yeah.
still love that smell. Sometimes down in
smells
Kirkland you can
amazing.
smell it in
Yeah.
the summer. I'm like, oh, it brings me back.
It smells so good. But so that was, once I started using oil, you don't use very much, it's pure product.
Mhm.
It just changed the way my skin felt.
Yeah,
And so when your skin feels better, I just think it looks better.
for sure.
And we also wanted to come to market as a little bit older women.
Mm-hmm.
I started this when I was mid-40s,
Sure.
now early 50s.
Mhm.
Lisa, which we like to joke we're a combined age of over 110.
Oh.
And
Very
so,
wise people.
yeah, we're very wise. But we both, as you get older,
Your
your
skin
skin just changes
Mhm.
and naturally produces less oil.
Right.
And oil is what keeps it kind of happy and
Mhm.
hydrated and bouncy and wonderful.
Yeah.
And so it was okay, let's talk about hydration. And
Mhm.
from then we moved to a really basic messaging of you cleanse, you hydrate, you protect with sunscreen.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not wearing sunscreen every single day, you're not protecting the investment of any other products you're using. So-
I didn't put on my sunscreen today.
A retinol, a vitamin C,
Mhm.
we're all chasing a peptide, we're all chasing something
Right.
in the industry, or the industry has taught us to chase something
Mhm.
to fix, and we're just not buying it. We're just not having it anymore.
Good for
And
you.
so for me, if you're not wearing sunscreen every day, then you should probably not brush your teeth every day either, because
right.
it's a preventative measure.
Sure.
So
Love
that's
it.
my mission, just to get
And-
women to wear sunscreen every day.
Okay. Point taken.
And I'm bossy, sorry.
That's okay. I
Okay.
love it. So that's great. You developed this whole amazing skincare line. You have the lip whip. You also have some cosmetics as
We
well.
do.
And you have an event coming up.
We
Let's
do.
talk about that because I think it's great. It's one thing to talk about it, but to be able to go meet you, experience the products, and know where to get these things.
Right.
Is great. So let's talk about that.
So Seattle, Bellevue, the whole Pacific Northwest, we are, I think, leaders in the forefront of clean living. You know,
Right.
we recycle, we compost, we eat healthy, but we don't have a lot of clean or green beauty outlets.
Right.
And so there is one at U Village. It's a store called Folane. They
Okay.
originated on the East Coast in Boston, and they've got other stores throughout the country. And what they've done is they've looked at all the ingredients. They have a specific list of things that you cannot have in your products in order for them to be sold in their store.
Great.
And they focus on education as well,
Okay.
which is really lovely because there really is more to this industry than just something pretty that you can put on your lips or your cheeks.
Right.
And so on March 12th,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be doing an event with a local cookbook author, and she specializes in gluten-free as well, which is really cool. And we're going to be talking about ingredients.
Nice.
Actually in the food world and in the cosmetics industry.
I love it. What
So
a great
it's an
pairing.
evening event, and it's on Eventbrite, and we'll put a link up.
Oh, perfect. We'll have a
Yeah.
link to all of that on the website after the show, NicoleMangina.com/podcast. But what's your website if people want to go on and maybe order, they can go to Folane or
Yeah.
they could just order them from your
So
site.
we are, my name, Kari Gran, KarigraN as in Nancy,
Okay.
.com. So
Perfect.
not Cary Grant,
Yeah.
Graham, not Cary Grant. And then the other event, if you don't mind a little
No,
shameless
let's do it.
promotion
This-
for my
I'm
business
so
partner, Lisa
excited.
Strain. Plymouth Housing puts an annual event every year called Seattle Dances, and they choose local celebrities. Yes, Lisa's our local
She
celebrity.
is. Totally.
And raise money for a really good cause to support the homeless issue in the greater Pacific Northwest area. And so she will be dancing
Dun, dun.
dun, 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 on March 7th. And we're
Okay.
going to provide a link too, so you can watch a little video of her
Yes.
talking about what she does. And we would love for anybody who would like to help out with this cause to vote for her.
Perfect.
And that would really help. And this has been her second full-time job. I am not
Yeah,
kidding.
you said this is like a
Oh.
big commitment.
Hours each day she is committed to it. And yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, so we can watch her dance steps. Sounds like she's got a fancy outfit to
Yes,
go with
she
everything.
does. And she's got a fancy big move that they'll be sharing with her dance partner. So
That's
it's gonna be a
awesome.
big
I
deal.
think that's great that
Yeah.
they do that event. It's
Yeah.
so fun.
Actually it's a really fun event too.
Perfect. What's the website for that? Is it Seattle
that-
Dances, or we'll just have it on the website?
Yep, we'll have
We'll have a
I
link.
provided a little link.
Oh, excellent.
Yep.
Yep. So people can go on and vote and
Yeah.
do all of that good stuff. I love it. So, what else should we know about your skincare line?
I think that, as I mentioned, the industry really is speaking to women in a way that hasn't been very nice.
Yes.
And really, once you kind of move out of that age grouping where there's a relevancy cliff, and for me, I felt it most notably once I turned 40.
Interesting.
Because I didn't see myself represented anywhere in the industry.
Right.
So it was either really young, lovely models in their very early 20s, late teens, early 20s, even promoting so-called anti-aging products.
Right.
Or it was
When you're 20.
Yeah. Which I bought my first jar of Lancome eye cream, anti-aging eye cream, when I was 19.
Oh, bless your heart.
19. I remember the smell of it, the feel of it. It took like every dollar I had from my part-time retail job
Oh
to
my
buy
goodness.
it. But yeah, I had no business
Yeah.
buying that. But it was kind of I was conditioned,
Right.
I think. And then the opposite end of the spectrum is you have these amazing older models now, like Mae Musk. Elon Musk's mother is doing this whole campaign for CoverGirl. Helen Mirren is doing work with
Yeah,
another
she's
cosmetics
beautiful.
company. And they're beautiful, but I'm not there
Right.
yet. So it's like the silver-haired Centrum Silver Fox type
Uh-huh.
woman, or the really young woman.
Right.
But I
You have to
challenge
get
you to
lost in the
find
middle.
anybody in the middle that's not a celebrity.
That's a good point.
That's not like a Julianne Moore, a Kate Blanchett, Kate
Mhm.
Winslet, who are all really lovely, but they are celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes it really feels good to see yourself represented somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And we also are kind of the no BS crowd.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, if any of these things did what they said they were going to do,
Mm-hmm.
then everybody would be buying that one product.
Right.
So our goal is to simplify the skincare journey
Mhm.
for every generation. We're not
Sure.
just speaking to one audience, although I do think, our main audience is a little bit older,
Mm-hmm.
but then they're getting their daughters to use it. Or
Right.
if they're younger, they're getting their mothers to use it, or their aunts, or their sisters, or their friends. And the focus on hydration over youth and perfection is another one that
Yeah.
we cannot stress enough. So
Oh,
it's
that's
like,
a good message. I like that.
yeah, it's like having the fundamentals down. Like if you eat a good, clean, healthy diet,
Right.
your body's just gonna feel better.
Sure.
And so there's no silver bullet.
Right.
There's no one size fits all magic cure. It's a
Mhm.
big picture. Are you eating well? Are you sleeping? Are you
Right.
drinking any water? Like, you can't use amazing skincare and have a really horrible lifestyle,
Right.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
So we just feel like we're the new truth tellers.
I love it.
And one last plug for sunscreen. How much time do I have?
No, you're good.
Um,
Plug away.
is that you always want to buy a sunscreen that says broad spectrum coverage.
Oh, good to know.
Okay, so what that means is that it protects your skin from UVA, think UV aging,
Okay.
and UVB, think UV burning rays.
Okay.
So an
a good
SPF
analogy.
number on a bottle
Mm-hmm.
only is related to UVB or UV burning.
Okay.
So if you're buying an SPF of 100, which
Mhm.
the FDA cracked down on back in 2011 because
Yeah, they
people,
got suspiciously high.
yeah, they
right?
got
Like,
suspiciously high, and it all depends on your filter.
Interesting.
So I'm going to get a little sciencey for a minute.
Do it.
But there are two types of filters in sunscreen.
Okay.
Chemical, which I mentioned, everything in the world's a chemical, so
Right.
just you have to think about this a little differently for a
Yeah.
minute. And physical. So the easy way to remember is physical is zinc and titanium.
Okay.
So those are physical that sit on
It's
top
a-
of your
yeah,
skin.
does not absorb
and
as a physical barrier. Yeah.
They reflect the sun's rays, whereas a chemical sunscreen has to be mixed with a combination, because zinc oxide is the only sunscreen filter that's both UVA and UVB coverage.
Oh, interesting.
So a lot of people are like, zinc, it's so white, I can't use it. But
Yeah.
it's gotten better over the years. We use non-nano zinc in ours at 17%. It goes on a little bit white, but it blends in.
Got it.
Or you can put makeup on over it, you know.
Yeah.
But it sits on top of your skin. So the others you have to absorb, and then about 15 minutes, then they're ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
But dependent upon the combination, sometimes your body will metabolize them faster.
Right.
And if there's heat and all of those things, so you've got that 2-hour window generally.
Right.
So if you're wearing like a BB cream or a foundation that has a chemical
Mhm.
sunscreen in it, you need to be aware of how long that filter's going to last.
Got it.
So, and again, it's protecting you from the burning rays, but on today, we have a beautiful gray day in Seattle,
Mhm.
Washington, like normal. This is when the UVA rays are out all the time at
Okay.
almost equal intensity,
Interesting.
and they break down collagen and elastin.
What a mood wrecker.
What a bummer! I know, but now you know, and now
Now
you
I
know why
know.
it's worth wearing sunscreen every
For
day.
sure.
You're wearing it for the UVA rays.
Okay.
If-
That actually is helpful. I did not know that.
Okay,
So
so
I
that's
learned
my-
something new
that's
today.
my
Thanks for
second
recommending.
hot tip of the day.
I love it. And it is, I do love that the education is out there now, that there's more access to, like you said, clean beauty products, but the whole synergy of how it fits together.
Right.
Right.
And-
the whole, what you
and with-
eat, what you put on your skin, all of that matters.
Yeah, and within our industry itself, and when I speak more so to our, I mean more of the indie beauty
Mhm.
industry, we're a little bit disruptive in the way that we want to be super transparent with what's in our
Right.
products. We want to list each and every ingredient
Mhm.
in the order in which it appears in the formulation, because this day and age, like, so many kids now have all these allergies
They
and
do. It's
issues.
interesting.
And I grew up and I didn't know anybody
Yeah.
that had a food allergy or an environmental, I mean, aside from seasonal allergies.
Right.
And so it's like there's a lot of environmental stressors that are out there in addition to just kind of, like I said, what you're putting in and on your body.
Sure.
So it's all about making a choice.
Yeah.
Voting with your dollars.
Exactly.
And ultimately, I think knowledge is really power.
It is. So awesome. If you're just tuning in, we've got Gran with Gran Skincare on the show with us today. You have the most amazing products.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you can find them if you want to go see them in person. Lane in U Village is the place to do it, or you can go online, KariGranSkincare.com.
Just KariGran.com.
Oh yeah, Kari Gran.
Drop the
She
skincare.
messed
That's
that up.
okay. Just KariGran.com,
Kari
and we
Gran.
also have a list of
I know.
retailers.
She's like Cher. She doesn't need like an
Yeah.
explanation. Everybody just knows it's Kari Gran.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it's funny because I remember hearing about the lip whip like years ago. It's like, that sounds really cool. I
Yeah.
want to check that out.
That has
It's
been
amazing.
a fun product
I love
because
it.
it crosses all demographics because it appeals to people in both the conventional side of beauty and the clean. So
Yeah.
it's been fun. It's been a fun product for us.
Yeah, I bet. That's great. Awesome. And again, March 12th, you're doing your event at Lane in U
Yes,
Village.
come
We'll
and
have all
say
of that.
hi.
Do they have to register for that?
They
Or-
do.
Okay.
Tickets are on Eventbrite.
Eventbrite. Perfect. So make sure you get your tickets for that. But before that, March 7th, that's like
That's coming
next
up.
weekend.
Uh-huh.
Next Saturday.
Yes.
Lisa. Doing
Lisa
her thing.
doing it. Yes.
That's so awesome. How many people are dancing in that?
I think there are a total of 12. Don't
Oh,
quote
that's
me
a
on
lot.
that. But on the site, it will show you the photo of everybody
Okay.
and what company that they're with and a little video of
Got it.
what they're doing.
And you can vote for them.
You can vote for them.
Can you vote now or you have
Yes.
to wait? Okay.
You can vote now.
Okay, so we'll have the link on the website
Yeah,
after the
vote,
show.
please.
NicoleMangina.com
Thank you.
/podcast. Do your little vote for Lisa. Yay.
Yay.
It's voting season. I got my voting ballot this
I
week.
did too.
Yep, so one more vote. Check in that box. Thank you for joining us on the show
Thanks
today.
for having me.
I really appreciate you being
It's
here
really
and
fun.
sharing your message because they're great products, and I just think the more we can make those shifts in our daily lives, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, and I say start small.
Yeah,
Just
One
you
lip
don't
whip
have
at
to
a
do
time.
it all at once.
Yeah.
But just make a choice.
yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us, everybody,
Thank
this week.
you.
We'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Bye.